What's cooking, gamers? Today I'm going to be going over everything in the new ULC Empty Promises update, and I'm going to start off with the stick. The stick is super useful and it's got a passive of 1 dodge every 15 to 20 seconds. The stick comes with an option to use an act menu by pressing the R key. Hitting an enemy with the act menu will increase the mercy meter. The higher the mercy meter, the more damage you will do to the enemy. The act menu has 5 options, but the best options by far are talk and pose, so make sure to use them the most. The talk option blows up the Sans' screen and makes them want to consume bleach as you slowly shank the shit out of them with your ops, and they can't do shit about it because they don't know what the fuck is going on. The courage option increases your teammates' defense and speed so they can caveman brain 8 rush like a handicapped dumb on steroids. The flex option increases your damage for 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's all it really does.
The flirt option makes you shoot a love heart which stuns the Sans for 1 second. Wow, I love that I can now flirt with Hardtale Sans. What the f***? The option is the anti-camp 2000 mechanism, which pulls the Sans towards you and allows you to basically cock over any character which relies on camping. Overall, super OP item. Next we have the tough gloves. These gloves allow you to fist your opponent sexually and physically and they deal a good 55 damage. The tough glove comes with 2 abilities. By pressing E, you can activate a counter which allows you to go ape shit and the shit your M1 until the Sans either leaves the game or your mouse breaks. Seriously though, were you guys on crack when making this? What the fuck? Your other ability is activated by pressing R and then you have 2 options. You can either ambatakam the Sans by pressing spacebar and blowing yourself up, or you can dash into the enemy by timing your R and dealing 50 to 200 damage. Overall, it's one of the best weapons in this update. Next we have the Ballet Shoes. The Ballet Shoes have 2 abilities. The first one is the and the second ability is faster. I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as fuck in my opinion. Next we have the Pan, which has 2 abilities. The first ability turns you into that it's time to cook. You can cook it up 2 ways, by overcooking or by undercooking. Both of them deal damage to you, but if you time it perfectly, you will heal yourself some health. Your other ability is the most useless ability in the entire game and it's only used to heal teammates. Or if you're a selfish, greedy use it to heal yourself. It's kinda busted with perseverance, but if you use it with any other soul, it's kinda accurate. Next we've got the empty gun. You've got a passive of 6 bullets and you can shoot these bullets at the Sans for 50 damage. But be warned, the range is pretty shit. Your first ability is a simple roll and your second ability is to summon a lasso to drag the Sans back to the fields, which allows your teammates to gank the shit out of the Sans. Next we have the first ability, you guessed it, makes you summon blue whilst you run because that's Undyne's canon ability as confirmed by the wiki. Your second ability summons multiple blue in a row, but it's kind of a move because it's easy to dodge. It's a cool weapon, but it's kind of lacking strength wise. Next we have the your first ability lets you throw your and it creates a fire zone which basically locks part of the map. Your second ability creates a wall which does not block projectiles but instead makes it so the Sans can't pass it. To be honest, they could have made the wall ignite your weapon, which would have been way cooler, but oh well. The Trident is overpowered with pretty much any soul, but it really shines with patience. Next we have the real knife. This is the best weapon in the game right now, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. This is not propaganda, you must agree. You have 3 abilities and all of them are ranged, which is pretty broken, I will not lie. Your first ability summons a save point, and by pressing Q again, you lunge like 10 meters. If you hit the Sans, you get teleported back and you lose 0 health, so you can basically dive bomb the Sans with this ability. Your second ability slams your knife into the ground and it creates a huge blast. This move is kinda hard to land, but you literally put the Sans into life support if you land it, so it's pretty fair. Your final move are consecutive slashes, which have these shit bombs. Also, yeah, I think I've played real knife enough. Next we have the Fresh Bat. This weapon has 2 abilities, but I'm just gonna summarize it with this quote. No skill, no good gameplay, no cool passives, not strong, 100% just straight. I mean, it's got a cool combo with the Furbies. I guess. Next we have the Thigh Bone and Horror Axe, and the Thigh Bone is just a skin, so I'll show a side that... Wait, what's that? It got reworked. Man, shut up! Horror Axe is a passive where if you hit an enemy 3 times you get a heal. You also have one ability, which is Rage. Rage allows you to spam your M1, well this reminds me of a certain weapon. And it also makes you have 50% less defense, but that doesn't matter anymore since it got reworked. If you really want to see an updated version, go check the wiki, or just watch Felix for one. Next we have the Snow Ring. Now this weapon did get nerfed pretty hard, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna get some buffs late. Snow Ring has 3 abilities. Your first ability turns your M1 into the... This costs like 10 to 15 TP. Your second ability heals your teammates, not like anyone uses it, which costs 25 TP. And your third ability lets you shoot out some snowflakes, which costs like, I don't know, go search up on the wiki. I'm so tired of editing this video. Oh yeah, you also have this really annoying passive where if you hit 5 ice moves, you make it so the Sans can't regenerate stamina. Next up we have the Killer Knife. Now I know this weapon's a fan favorite, so I won't talk too much about it. The Killer Knife changes depending on your soul, and I'll show all the variants on the screen now. The main gimmick of the Killer Knife is that you run on stages. You've got 4 of them. You have Sane, Schizophrenic, Insane, and anyone who plays Undertale Judgment Day. In your first stage, you have one ability, which is the Goop Slash. Your Goop Slash does 0 damage, 0 stamina, but slows down the Sans and increases your sanity meter. In your second stage, your Goop Slash gets buffed, and now you have Goop Slash Plus. It's the same thing, but it deals damage and stamina now. In your third stage, your Goop Slash is replaced with a really slash ability, but it deals more damage and stamina. Also, you get a teleport in this stage, which I don't see anyone using, but it's pretty useful. In your fourth stage, you get the One Piece Execution move, which apparently does 2000 damage, but that's probably bullshit. Also, it's kind of funny when you use it with kindness, because then the combo turns into cake. Next we have the Chaos Sabers. Now for 500 wins, I'm just saying, but for 500 wins, this weapon is ass. You have a huge amount of health, but every time you swing or use an ability, your max health decreases, and it decreases by a lot. Your first ability summons stars, which will never hit and provide no buffs to your teammates. I mean, it's kinda good for camping characters, but still the mid is pretty. Your second ability summons up, and surprisingly, this is the move which buffs your teammates. This weapon is only useful when you have good teammates, which just does not happen, and if they have that intelligence to actually walk into your... Otherwise, just don't bother equipping this weapon. And another important note, you can't even revive with this weapon. Determination just increases your max health. Finally, we have the 404 stick. This weapon is literally the definition of never let them know your next move. It does random damage ranging from 0 to 404, and it literally gives you any ability in the game when you land a hit. To be honest, nobody uses it, and I can understand why. This weapon is just not fun to play against, and it's not fun to play as. And I don't even know how you managed to pull that off. Wow, that took ages. If you guys are getting bored already, don't worry, we're halfway done. Next I'm going to showcase the new Sanses, but if you really want an in-depth tutorial, like a proper tutorial, then go watch these videos. But if you just want to see me comment on them, then stick around. Enjoy! First up, we got Underfell Sans. Now, Underfell Sans got a mini rework this update, so he didn't change too much, but he does have a new map, a new model, and quite a few changes. So the first thing that's changed is that the blaster remodel, which is quite clean. The second thing that's changed is that his force has been changed to the newer one, which takes away 0 stamina. The third thing which has changed is that you don't get your blue spin bones with your third upgrade, which might be just because the devs forgot to add it, but I'm gonna pretend it was on purpose. The fourth thing was that Extreme Fell got removed, which is pretty sad since I know some people actually enjoyed playing him. Now arguably the most important change is that he now has the chain moves. This first move is basically a whiplash, which allows you to basically one-shot, and his second phase got quite a few changes as well. Now in your second phase, a shit of things were changed. First of all, your orange spin ball was removed, your floor blasters have been remade into hell blasters, which is honestly much more fitting. Your side bones were replaced into Underfell Sans' final attack, which is a much more useful place for them. And Underfell Sans now has like 5 new moves, so I'm gonna go over them. Your first new move is your Fell Zone, which is actually one of the more useful moves, since most Underfell Sans players tend to just spam it whenever it's off cooldown. Another new move is Chain Slam, which does 50 guaranteed damage if you hit it. Everyone tries to land this into in basically every Underfell Sans combo, but if you ask me, the best way to land it is to use force instead of chain, since people will never see that coming. Some other small changes are stuff like keeping your colored bones in phase 1, that wasn't an old thing with Fel, and also you keep your changed move from phase 1. People mainly use this character for the borderline overpowered combos, and also because they want the final attack changes from a blaster circle to a bunch of spam depending on what upgrade you have selected. It's definitely a great rework, but to be honest, honestly it might be too strong, especially since a 30-win character can now one-shot everyone. Next we have Hardtale Sans. Now this character got fully reworked, so I'm not going to go over the small details such as, you know, his entire old moveset getting deleted because it was so ass. The first new thing Hardtale has, as everyone will see when spawning in as him, is that he's got a new map, a new model, and a new theme. With Max Hardtale you get two passives, the Ignition passive, which is what makes anyone main this character, I'll be for real with you, and the more important passive being able to talk in game. Your first move is Uppercut, which is just a better version of Insanity's Punch. Your second move is a counter, which is surprisingly harder to land than you think. This counter does guaranteed damage, but they do have iframes, so it's not just a repeat of Fell Sans. Your third move is a copy and paste of Fell Sans' blasters. Your fourth move has like 5 variants. I watched like 3 showcases, and none of them could tell me what the fuck is wrong with this move, so thanks to this guy for explaining it to me. From what I understand, there's 3 variants, and there's another 3 variants with Ignition, I think. Your first variant creates a Skelly Fist, which shoots out a spiral of fire. Your second variant creates another Skelly Hand, but this time it slaps him into a half circle of bones. Your third variant is a copy and paste of Killer Sans' Homicide move, but it's more Your fifth move, Hippity Hoppity, your weapon is now my... Oh, never mind, you picked it up. Your sixth move lets you ride a giant blaster, which lets you have 3 options. Blast, Bite, and... It's honestly used to regenerate stamina, but if you want to play aggressive with it, then go for it, I guess. Your 7th move is basically... And it's free damage if you go against idiots which only rush. Your final move is... And honestly, it's kinda I mean, it's super cool, don't get me wrong, but when time resumes, the cowards have such a huge window to escape that the most damage you're ever gonna get off this move is 4. 5 if you're lucky. Now, when you turn on Ignition, things change. Ignited Uppercut makes you slam a bone onto their spinal cord. Like 3 times. Ignited Counter is basically the same thing, I won't lie, but they get slapped away and there's multiple green bones. Ignited Dual Blasters make the blasters frailer, but then afterwards they start trying to chomp on your they start chasing you. They signal who they're chasing by showing their path of green bones. Your first variant of Ignited Giant Slam is basically... This is the greatest and this one-shots, like I'm not even joking, it actually just one-shots. Your second variant of Ignited Giant Slam looks like it's just a regular slap, but the hand comes back to jump scare you. Your third variant of Ignited Giant Slam is basically the same, but you summon the Devil's Knife explosions. Ignited Weapon Ghost just increases the range of it. Ignited Giant Blast gives the blaster 8 health. Ignited Fire Grapple just buffs the damage from it. I know this is some people's favorite character in the game right now, but honestly I just don't enjoy playing it. There's so much you gotta remember, especially Giant Slam, like I don't even know what the f is going on with that move. In terms of strength, Hardtale is actually okay, but definitely do not underestimate him, since Hardtale mains can absolutely smoke you. Next we have Horror. Horror got a crazy rig, and he might be the best character in the game right now. Maybe Felldust Emerald tops him, but it's definitely close. Horror's first move is Axe Throw, which is definitely his strongest move. It does crazy damage and it inflicts bleed. And bleed was already way too overpowered with pre-rework and pre-rework, so you already know this move does like 30 damage per hit. Your second move is Blink, which doesn't teleport you, but instead summons some spikes and lets you walk a bit. Your third move is Head Dog. Without charging it, you just slam your axe, which I think does bleed, but I'm not too sure. If you do charge it, however, you dash suddenly and you do pretty good damage. Your fourth move is basically just Bone Zone, but with spikes. Your fifth move is Underswap Frisk's Bone Roll, but more and with spikes. Your sixth move is a bit weird, but what it does is that it summons a decoy with an incredibly delayed startup animation, so don't expect to trick anyone with it. But if you cancel it early, and if someone is close enough to it, you trap them with a circle of spikes. If you deal enough damage, or you just wait a bit, your hunger bar will be full, and you can activate hunger. In hunger, you actually run, which is a never seen before mechanic in ULC, and you also summon singular spikes randomly. Your moves are quite similar, but you do get 3 new moves. Spike Surround summons spikes, which surround you. Well, I wonder what Horror Dash does. Your last move in Hunger is definitely your coolest, but unfortunately you're never gonna land it. Bear Trap stuns your enemy for like 20 seconds, so if anyone steps on it, it's just a one-shot. Whoever lands in your bear trap will get some dialogue which will go like, "You won't get away," or some shit like that. I haven't seen it activated in ages. Overall, it's super strong. Definitely grind this character whilst he's still OP. Dustfell also got a slight rework in Ruins and a remodel for Snowdin. Dustfell Ruins is basically the same, but you keep the chain move from Underfell Sans, which is a nice touch, I won't lie. Dustfell Snowdin can't say the same. The model looks really cool, but I don't think anything really changed. For our final rework, we have Swap Kara. Swap Kara has two abilities, Swap and Fight. Fight makes it so you have around a 1.5 second window to summon a beam thing. I don't really know what this is. Swap turns you into Underswap Frisk. Underswap Frisk has a better fight which turns your beam into a red beam, which deals way more damage than it should. You also get a stealth mode which actually works unlike Story Spin's invisibility. You also get a knife grapple which doesn't actually grapple you onto the sand, instead it actually just flings them for some reason. Your final move is actually really good for dodge based characters, and it's a dash which attacks the sands. Also, if any of you were curious which sands has got remodeled, these are the ones. Oh yeah, also Sansta got reworked, but let's be real here, who the fuck wants Sansta? The first mastery you can unlock is Golden Sands. This skin scales with hard mode, but the hard mode variant is pretty ass, and your cool blue aura gets replaced with a green one, and now it just looks like Sans has himself. The second mastery you can unlock is Low Tier Fel, and this skin does change the character a little bit, but if you want to see how to play it, then watch Cubits' video, but me personally, this skin is kinda ass. I'm more or less a play to lose kinda skin. You literally have 50 stamina. A third mastery added this update is the Last Breath the musical skin. Now, I don't know if this is misinformation, but I'm not gonna grind for it until I see someone else using it. But apparently there is a Golden Science mastery added. But don't trust anyone until you see actual video proof it exists. Honestly, do not do what I did and grind for 3 masteries. I'm gonna tell you now, there will be a mastery for every character in the game eventually. Source, trust me. So don't grind every secret you hear someone tell you, because you're gonna need 10k on every character eventually. Me personally, just grind the characters that you find fun, and to be honest for me, that's only Felldust Emerald, let me be for real with you. The grind never stops, gamers. Now to activate Bad Time Trio, whoever is playing Sans needs either hard mode or third upgrade equipped. Your other teammates just need to equip base story shift and base swap papyrus, and then you're good to go. And if that doesn't work, that means your server was or is bugged. It also has a 10 round cooldown, so don't expect this encounter to be common. Anyways, with the update pretty much entirely gone over, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, and honestly try out Chris the next time you play ULC. Like, hands down, it needs a nerf. You could probably be a little hyper with it, that's how confident I am. And with that said, roll the credits.
All my fellas. 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 Let's go. Let's go. All my fellas. All my fellas. All my fellas. All my fellas.